What is going on, Knights of Vex? Your boy Vex is coming in with the flex for the best 5v5 teams for the up-and-coming Grand Arena season. Highly cringe, I get it, but I had to do it. Just got a sick pump at the gym, feeling pretty good about myself. So, regardless, new season, new Datacrons, interesting combinations of teams, and repeats of the past finally coming to the present. And now we have to figure out what we're going to do this meta. Lots of teams going on defense that aren't normally there. Pretty interesting stuff, I'm not going to lie. And Datacrons, you didn't think we were going to make a use, are going to have a use. Really, really cool stuff. So, if you guys are new here, I break this up into 3 separate categories. Best defensive teams, offensive teams, and a category I like to call flex, where you can have kind of a you pick 2 option. You can put them on either defense or offense, kind of depending on your strategy. They both work and are viable in both sections. So, you're going to see some repeat characters in offense and defense because there are different squad combinations where they're going to be better on defense and then more optimal on offense. You're going to see that on 2 different teams. But lots of repeats, long season. You got to change up your whole meta and your strategy because your opponent's going to figure you out and pretty much want to change it up a bit. So you're going to see many different options, but let's have some fun. We're going to go right into the defensive list, but reminding you guys, if you want to support this channel and you want to support your boy Vex, I've said this in the last video, we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Now, last time I did this, I believe we were under 9,000. We're at the 9,300 mark as of the recording of this video, so if we get to 10,000 subs at the end of April, I will be doing a huge giveaway. Highly unlikely, but still, Google Play card, iTunes card, Vex merchandise, and a free game unboxed for you guys if you are one of the first 10,000 subscribers of the channel. So, I really appreciate the support. With that out of the way, let's get right into the list, guys. Going over to the squads, and want to show you guys what we're talking about first. First defensive team of the list. That's right, Leia. Galactic Legend Leia is going to be viable on defense this season, and it's for a couple of reasons. Number 1 being the return of the Captain Drogon Datacron. He's giving 200% max health to his team, immune to ability block, to fear. He gets a bonus turn. They get the Keem Strategium buff. It is really, really tough. And if you want to be even more insane and toxic, we're going to throw in Han and Chewie to bring back the toxic Leia comp. What this pretty much does is that Han Solo is going to be melting people off in the beginning. Chewbacca is going to be giving guard. This might not be a 100% defensive whole team. I'm pretty sure it's going to cause a lot of headaches, but it will for sure steal banners from you. I don't think JML is going to get this easily at all. I think JML is going to get walked over. Wampa, not going to work at all, especially if you have very high defense. The damage coming out from this team is insane. We have Riposte for the level 6. We have evasion buffs on a special level 3. Expect Toxic Leia to be on defense this season, and make sure you bring in the right counters because they might have to combine Sith Eternal Bane. They might try to go for an Inquisitor composition, which for sure is not going to be the best banners. So Leia on defense is going to be not from the norm, but it will be very strong. So expect Toxic Leia on defense, which leads into team number 2. Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka with Vayne Kron. And my god, it's one of those like printed Datacrons that are just every couple seasons we get one of the most overpowered top tier, always will be remembered kind of Datacron. Vayne is that type of Datacron. The amount of damage he does as a tank is stupid. And it's whenever an ally does a special ability, he's going to assist, dealing true damage based off his max health. And the level 9 is ramping up his max health. So, your traditional counters for Pirate King Hondo from previous seasons, not going to cut it. Underlined Force users, not going to get it done. Kylo with RNG, more than likely. There's going to be another variation of a counter that we're going to talk about later that I will be doing. And I want to try it out first, but there's not going to be many counters for Hondo this season. I've been doing a bunch of squad arena testing against him. He's very difficult. So what I'm thinking is he's going to perform just fine without OG Hondo. I'm putting in SM33 as a very annoying bonus turn attacker that deals massive, massive damage. If you guys do want to throw in OG Hondo, you're more than welcome to. It will cause headaches for a lot of teams, but I don't think he's needed. And I think OG Hondo is going to be really good for another team that we're going to mention later on this list. So for me this season, I think Pirate King Hondo with SM33 and the rest of the regular squad will be the way to go. Now, I'm going to get a lot of lip for this in the comment section, and that's absolutely fine. Maul, Starkiller, and Stranger with his either his Focus Datacron or not his Focus Datacron. So I know it says FDC, but that might not be the case for the entire season. Visas, and I'm replacing Barris with Old Ben. And the reason is because there's two reasons. Number one, I want to make two very good squads. One with Stranger Starkiller and one with Rey. The second is, we just got introduced to Satil Shan. And Satil will more than likely have her way with Stranger this season if you go with a 25% Termitercron. The caveat is, it's kind of like a chess match. If you set Stranger with a Darkside 25% Termitercron, that could really help your chances out from stopping Satil. Because we saw in 3v3, if you don't go out first, you're in some trouble. So if you give them a 25% Termitercron, that could cause problems for Satil, but then again, it could open up the doors to Lord Vader. But that's the type of gamble you have to play with. But my personal recommendation, I think if your Maul team is going to be on defense, even with Barris or not, it's still going to lose to the same exact counter. So why not make a second strong team with Rey with Barris and replace Barris with Old Ben? Ben is a good tank, taunter, gives buffs to his team when he goes down. So I have a Relic 6 Old Ben. He's going to be squishier than the other guys. He could possibly go down to an AoE, give them Held to Protection recovery, defense up, offense up, all these things, Terminator, and it's not bad to have. So we'll have to see how this Theory Craft and Cook plays out, but that's kind of like my mindset with this team. It's going to be good on defense, but we want to try to stop Satil. That's the goal. Which leads to the next team, and why I'm placing OG Hondo in this lineup is because Balin with his Focus Datacron is bananas insane strong. Dengar in there, giving doubt to the entire enemy team. OG Hondo is getting his very strong bonus protection and gets his ransom even quicker. Like, it's really, really good. Shin's going to be assisting a lot. Balin has a really good level 15 with the Soldier of Fortune stacks. Marok's going to be assisting, recovering health and protection. It's going to be a phenomenal team. If you set Balin on the defense, this is for sure the strongest combination of mercenaries because of his Focus Datacron. Every single thing slots in perfect, and he's going to be an absolute beast this season. Expect him to go both on offense and defense, but you're going to see a different variation for offense. That's why he's not in the flex category. There's two separate teams, but Balin going to be insane. Next up, Lord Vader, Attackercron. I should have an Attackercron. That's from the previous season, but what I meant to say is Lord Vader with attacker stats or defensive stats. So even if you don't have very good Datacrons like for the level 3 or 6 for Lord Vader, because the previous season he had the cooldown reduction on his level 3, which is very nice. For this season, you could throw in a 25% turn meter for the other dark side allies, like your clones, that could possibly stop Maz Kanata if they can go out ahead. Don't know for sure. Obviously, dealing with Scorch is really problematic. The 25% turn meter for the clones could be pretty nice to have. If you don't have that, you could even throw in a very high defense cron with turn meter or even buffs in a basic to deal more damage. I know Lord Vader has certain counters on defense, but I think that not a lot of players have Bo-Katan optimized modding-wise to deal with him, and there's no max health to protection level 3 this season, so I think that's going to cause issues for her as well. But regardless, if your opponent's going to set Lord Vader on defense, it's going to be tough to get through. I don't think Pirates are going to be that easy. Bane with Count Dooku seems to be a pretty strong combination, but I still like Lord Vader on defense. He's not pure failure all the time, and he might actually cause issues for Satil if anyone tries to stop or to use it against him, but we're going to have to see. That's kind of like my mindset. I want to set a stronger defense, and Lord Vader is going to be one of those stronger Galactic Legends on defense. Now, always do this, have to include combination pair. This is the biggest, a lot of players in Kyber 1, their strategy is the Rey and Prey. Will my Rey get a hold or not? Their whole strategy in winning and climbing is if your Rey team can get a hold. And it's not because she's the Galactic Legend, it's because Ezra Bridger is. He is the Galactic Legend of both Ahsoka and Rey. So the biggest tricky part is, where do you want to put Ezra, with Rey or Ahsoka? So I'm giving you guys two different variations of Rey so that you can split between the two in between matchups if you want to change it. So the first one's going to be Ezra-less. It's going to be Ben, Cal, General Kenobi, and Barris. And I put Chodakron because the Chodakron is nuts. But a second option could be, if you use a 25% Termitercron with your Stranger Maul team, you could use the Maul Focus Datacron on this team because it gives crazy stats. Do me a favor. Look at the Maul Focus Datacron and look at the stats. Tenacity, Crit Avoid, all the fun stuff. It's really, really strong. So either Maul Focus Datacron or Chodacron on this team is going to be good. Now, if you're going to go with Ezra, even more insane. Just brings the team to new heights. Absolutely bananas strong, and it's really, really good. That's going to be your best variation. Always like Cal, Kenobi, and Barris. I think it's a really good synergy with the protection up, anti-crit, crit on a heal. It's just very annoying to deal with, and it can shut down certain counters. So I like it, and obviously we just went over the Ezra variant. Really, really good. Which leads into the next combination pair, Ahsoka Ezra. If you do that, put the Chodacron, massive crit avoid, massive health, massive defense. You do not want to play around with it. You guys don't set Ezra with Ahsoka. Throw in Wat Tambor. Try to throw in a Maul Focus Datacron with the crit avoid and all those annoying stats, the defense, the health. It's very annoying to deal with, and you're trying to time out your opponent. You're not necessarily trying to get them to lose. You're trying to time them out on Ahsoka to get you a hold. That's the whole purpose of this team. So, Rey and Ahsoka, figure it out. Now, we're going to go a little bit quicker here. Saul Guerrera with Kyle Katarn, Luthen, Chirrut, Imwe, and Baze. I think the way to go for this season is that Chirrut is going to go over Kyle Katarn's Kron. I think he's going to be dealing crazy, crazy damage. The Rebel synergy is phenomenal. It's going to be really, really good. So Chirrut has potential of unlimited offense ramping. He could one-shot teams. I remember trying Jedi Master Kenobi when this was first released, and my Kenobi lost because he was one-shot by Chirrut Imwe. I highly recommend, if you guys have him at Relic 5, get him to Relic 6, Relic 7, because you do not want to get not the full effects of the Datacron. So Relic 7 on both Baze and Chirrut to get the maximum potential of the level 9. Going to be really strong this season. Now, next up, Grand Inquisitor Reva team on defense. I know what you're thinking. Phoenix is going to walk right over it. Here's the thing. With either the Third Sister Kron and Grand Inquisitor Kron, there is timeout risks. I remember when I had to deal with Third Sister back in the day, or Grand Inquisitor, I would time out all the time. I tried Malgus, timed out. Phoenix, timed out. It was one of the most frustrating experiences because Reva, with her Datacron, could counterattack, go back to full health of protection, recovered protection from her Datacron, and it was really, really annoying. And with the Grand Inquisitor Kron, he would constantly give damage immunity to his team, and then if you don't get the buff removal with your chopper, you're in for a very long battle, which could stall you out, especially with a high defensive Kron. So that's going to be strong for defense. Now, I have already played around with footage of 8th Brother Kron. It is disgusting. Disgusting, disgusting, but I don't think it makes them defensive viable. That's the problem. I think it's more fun on offense. So you're going to see Inquisitors later on. I believe I mentioned them. The 8th Brother Kron is being slept on. Do not underestimate it. It's going to be really, really good on offense, but I don't think it stops anything on defense. That's the whole point, but this is mostly for timing out your opponent. Next up, Darth Vader Duels End with Palpatine, Mara Jade, Tarkin, and Royal Guard. Now, I have seen variations with Shore Trooper in here to act as a double tank, and it is strong, but I think that not a lot of players are going to have Shore Trooper up at high Relic, so I'm putting in Tarkin because a lot of players might have Tarkin up at Relic 7 or higher, so I do like Tarkin here. We're now losing the IG-88 Datacron, so going to have to figure out other counters. We're going to have to take the gamble with Dark Trooper Moff Gideon or other variations of Maz Kanata. It's not going to be as easy as it was, so Darth Vader Duels End, very good on defense. Now, going to speedrun a little bit on these next two teams. This Great Mother team is specifically very good on defense because it is annoying to deal with. This is meant to stop Malgus. A lot of players, when they see Great Mothers, they go for Sith Empire with Malgus. If you set Death Trooper Peridia, he gives max health to Night Sisters. Marin is very annoying with her cleansing, especially if she's tenacity modded, and Zombie's going to be constantly reviving. So that's purely to frustrate and time out your opponent. That's literally the whole point of the team. So high defensive stats, try to stall them out. Great Mother's Doom is going to lower their max health protection, or their max health, and you're practically going to get one-shots later on if they keep stalling the battle. So very good. Now, this team, insanely strong. Absolutely strong. If you have the Omicron and Asajj, you're going to be insane, especially the Focus Datacron. Forlom has synergy with the Datacron, and Zam with her Omicron is going to be very good. So I know it's on the defensive list, but it could also be very strong on offense. It's a team you simply cannot underestimate. Expect big things from it this season. Now, Yoda and Chewie Kron with the Wookiee team. I lost to it a bunch last season. I tried CLS, I even tried Great Mothers. Great Mothers would lose with the Focus Datacron attached. So, yes, I think a lot of players are going to be setting this team not on defense and moving their Datacron to like Rey or Ahsoka with Ezra, but it doesn't mean it's a bad team to set. They are still defensive viable in Kyber 1 with their Focus Datacron, and they can be purely frustrating for your opponent. Now, this next one is going to be a, let's see what happens. I was playing around with them in Squad Arena a little bit. There is potential for full turn meter looping. I have tried it. I went against Rey, and Cody kept getting turn after turn after turn. And I tried some synergy with Clone Sergeant, but I guess my Clone Sergeant wasn't modded the best. But if your Clone Sergeant is getting a critical hit on a basic, he's gaining 50% turn meter. So that is potential for turn meter looping as well. We're going to have to see if Tuskens can walk over it, because we do have quite a bit of turn meter gain. But I honestly think our damage is going to be way too high for them, and you're going to blow them up before you even die to dots, and then you're going to revive. So I think that this team is being slept on and could be very, very strong on defense. So that is going to wrap up the defensive list. It took a little bit of time. I wanted to explain everything in detail. We're now moving on to offense. Moving on to the offensive list, and the first one we have to mention is going to be Wampa with her Focus Datacron. And to be honest, Wampa is not nearly as powerful as she was during the first iteration of her Focus Datacron, and I think it has a lot to do with Relic Delta, as well as some of the other stats of the Datacron set, like defense and stuff like that. And a lot of players are now using Datacrons with Jabba to stop Wampa, but that doesn't mean Wampa is not going to be bad this season. I think a lot of players in the top end of Kyber 1 are going to use the Datacron for other offensive teams and defensive teams to be more annoying, but lower end of Kyber, if your opponent sets a weaker team, take advantage of it, because getting a 58-59 banner win, or is it 68 in 5v5? You guys get the idea. The efficiency matters, and Wampa is the queen of efficiency with her Focus Datacron, so I have to include it on the list. Now, if you guys thought I wasn't going to talk about Satele, you guys are crazy. Favorite faction of Star Wars, Old Republic. Can't wait to use them in 5v5. I think they're going to be better in 5v5 than they were in 3v3, especially with the addition of Jolie Bindo, because he will help with the revive. So if you guys are dealing with a tough battle and your Revan is dying in the opening play, the Star Killer, your Jolie has a chance of bringing him back. So I'm hoping, even if the opponent has a 25% dark side Terminatorcron and gets out ahead, even if Revan goes down, my Jolie will come to save the day to bring him back. Try to get rid of Star Killer immediately. Juhani is there to finish the Old Republic synergy. CG nerfs Satele, so she's only really viable with the full Old Republic faction. But regardless, don't set her on defense. She's going to get walked over by Great Mothers, destroyed by Sith Eternal Emperor, probably can get soloed or do a Sith Eternal Watt combination kind of thing. She's purely for offense, and that's not a bad thing. She's still a phenomenal Conquest character, and I'm looking forward to seeing what and how she does in 5v5. So, offensive purely. Now, next up, Kenobi. I say this all the time. Kenobi has been slowly going down and down and down and down the viability pool because of all the new releases countering him or stopping him. All the critical hit, the instant defeat immunity clauses in everyone's kit. Balin practically neuters him off of defense. Not going to be as strong of a defensive GL, but can do really good things in 5v5 and good at banner recovery. So, never sleep on Kenobi. Great offensive Galactic Legend. Now, Leia, being repeated here. Her offensive team is different because you can cheese Radis and Jin. That combination is not as strong on defense, in my opinion. I think the Toxic Leia comp is stronger. On offense, put the stealth on Jin. You can practically cheese battles against Ahsoka, Rey. She's going to be very, very good. I did get Leia to work on Pyro King Hano in Squad Arena with the Captain Drogon Datacron, but we're going to have to see how it works in Grand Arena. I'm pretty sure it'll be the same, but you got to play really, really smart and make sure you get the stealth on everybody using R2 immediately. So that's the offensive Leia squad. Then next up, been getting a lot of questions about who am I replacing Revan with in a JML squad. It's going to be Grandmaster Yoda. And yes, Jedi Master Luke is going to remain an offensive Galactic Legend. He is practically non-viable on defense in the later stages of Kyber. Many counters, Inquisitors will walk right over him. There's a lot of other cheaper counters. You can use Sith Empire with Malgus to walk over JML sometimes. He's just not a very good defensive GL, but he's very good at banner recovery. Pair that in with Cal's level 9, probably can get some really good insta-kills faster. So, JML, I'm going to say, is a phenomenal offensive Galactic Legend. Now, this is the team I'm talking about. This is the Balin squad. This is your offensive team you're going to use, and this is what I'm going to try to use against Pyro King Hondo, because Han Solo can stun the Vayne in the beginning, and that's going to protect your squad when Hondo takes his first turn and increases cooldowns. There's not going to be any assist, and you can kind of get your turn meter train going with the doubt and stuff like that. So that's why Han Solo's in this. He's there to stun Vayne. That's purely for offense. I wanted to include that on the list. I want to test it first, but that's kind of like the mindset. Stun Vayne, deal with the rest later. That's going to be a very good offensive team. Now, Bad Batch, guys, very, very good. Severely underrated. I underrated them in the past. I revoke everything I've said about them. Really good. Able to take out Star Killer Stranger Maul. It was able to take out Pyro King Hondo. Maybe they could take out Leia. I don't know. We're going to have to see how the damage works in the bonus turn with Drogon with his Datacron. We're going to have to see. Regardless, Bad Batch is 100% going to be seen on offense this season with their Datacron. It's still here. Crosshair's level 9 is phenomenal. They gain a ton of stats from the level 6. Loving the Bad Batch. Now, always including these two combinations. I am liking more and more Bane with Count Dooku because of that stun and the counterattack from Dooku that he can potentially do against certain targets. Like Lord Vader, being able to stun Apo is very nice, or stunning Scorch, putting the shock on characters. It's very, very good. So if you guys want to split Sith Eternal and Bane, you can. If you don't, combine them to make a super rule of 2 team that could practically take out 85 to 90% of the board. So we're getting to a point where you almost have to combine Sith Eternal Bane because the map is so tiny that you're not doing your account justice by not doing it. So I think this is going to be your premier team this season for Bane. Now, moving on. Malgus, extremely important on offense. Not defensive viable anymore because of Maz Kanata, but also can get Sith Eternal Watan board very easily. But they could take out a lot on offense, and I really like the character. They got good banner recovery with Darth Revan's AoE shock. So Malgus, always an offensive team, very, very good. Same thing with Bo-Katan Mandalore. More offensively strong than defensively because of her banner recovery in 5v5 with OG Bo-Katan. Going to try to see if I can get her to work against Lord Vader. It's not going to be as easy because we don't have the max health protection level 3 for tanky stats. But we're going to have to figure out if we can do it. I know there's going to be different variations of Lord Vader counters, but if I can get Bo-Katan to work again, because we're away from the attacker con shenanigans, that would be a huge plus for me. So Bo, offensive always. Same thing with CLS. I include him on the list because he is able to take out General Skywalker, and I know you don't see those very often, but if you're trying to go for cheaper counters, CLS is very good, and I have to include him on the list always. Even though he's a very old school team, he's very, very strong in 5v5 Grand Arena. Now, I'm not a big, Night Sister guy or OG Night Sister guy. I'm a big Great Mother guy, but they are able to take out Jabba, and I'm pretty sure you got to get rid of Zombie to get this to work. So I think it's just starting 4. To get it to work, you have to have your Marin modded for tenacity. I don't personally want to risk it this season to do it, but I know a lot of big IQ, big brain players that love Night Sisters get this to work all the time. So if you guys do have it available, I always include it on the list because they're very good at taking out Jabba. Now, this is going to be a combination pair because I love the new Datacron for Phoenix. It's amazing. The Heracron is good. They have ramping stats. They have an insta-kill. The problem with it is that it's locked to when it's a full Phoenix squad. So if you're going to do a full Phoenix squad going against Inquisitors, you're risking your Rex from getting tortured from Grand Inquisitor, and that's going to shut down the counter. You do not want that to happen. So I'm giving you 2 variations. The first one being with Geo Brood Alpha, which is going to be your best option because he has a pre-taunting spawn of a tank that's not going to affect your banners too hard. So Grand Inquisitors are probably going to come in hard with a big second special, killing your decoy. Then your Phoenix squad is going to go run train on the entire Inquisitor team. So that's why I'm including him. If you guys don't have, or if you want to use your Phoenix somewhere else for the insta-kill, I think this is going to be your premier team. The problem with me is that I don't have these guys all at Relic 6. That's the biggest, honest FU to the player base, is that you're taking away things that we had. The fact that I got to get these characters to Relic 6 while I'm trying to hoard my signal data for the new era system, or the new era characters, is a big slap in the face. So I do want to include the 2 Phoenix teams. Hopefully you guys have them at Relic 6. And the last offensive team I think is going to be really, really good is IG90's Focus Datacron with Afra. And I'm including B2 here because B2 is actually a really good droid for Afra because of the AoE buff removal with buff immunity. It's actually very helpful against Jabba. Pair that with IG90 for the mass assist, the health and protection recovery, the damage from BT1. Super big fan of this team, and I can't wait to try them again on offense this season without the IG88 Kron to see if they're going to be just as strong to take out Jabba. So that's going to wrap up the offensive list. We're now going to finish off with flex. Last category, the flex. One of my favorites because it's kind of flexible with where you can put these characters and teams. First up, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Obviously very good on offense because he could take out a number of very annoying teams like Rey, Ahsoka Ezra. He's practically super important, as well as Pirate King Hondo. I think he's personally more offensive favorable this season because of how important he is to taking out those top squads. He's got good health and protection recovery as well, so I'm a big fan of that. I put First Order Stormtrooper as a tank just in case, but you could also replace First Order Stormtrooper for First Order Officer to pass the turns back and forth. But I think it's sometimes nice to have a tank on the team. Sith Trooper is there for the damage. Depending on where you want to use him, Sith Trooper could also be taken out against Pirate King Hondo because he's a Sith, so you're better off using First Order Officer. But that's your traditional SLKR team. Crew is going with the UFU team, so I have to include them on the list. Now, Jabba. The thing about Jabba is if you're going to set him on defense, make sure you do it correct because Wampa is available this season to absolutely slaughter him. So if you're going to set Jabba, set a good Kron to go along with it. I'm talking high potency, high defense, high crit avoid. You want to stop Wampa, and this is going to be your traditional Jabba team that's going to be very, very good. And just proceed with caution. But at the same token, on offense, he's going to take out a lot of pesky stuff as well because he could probably take out those annoying Leia squads, those Balin squads. Hopefully, I'm hoping he can take out Balin. We're going to have to see. But yeah, Jabba's going to have a purpose every Grand Arena season. Next up, DTMG. Very, very good. Now, last season, I was able to take out Pirate King Hondo with Night Trooper on the team and the Night Trooper Kron. The problem is you're not going to see Pirate King Hondo on defense unless it has the Vane Kron, so I'm not putting Night Trooper here. If you guys see any other strong teams with it, or another Pirate King Hondo team without Vane Kron, then yeah, include Night Trooper here. He can one-shot the team. I actually have a short on my channel showcasing him one-shotting an entire GL Pirate King Hondo team with like a 500k million damage AoE. But regardless, this is going to be your staple of a team if you want to keep Night Trooper with your great mothers. So offensively, really good. Defensively, be careful of Malgus. Not a guaranteed win with Malgus, by the way. Now, Maz Kanata is next, and the reason I'm including Nest here is because OG Hondo and SM33 have other uses for the other teams. If you guys aren't going to use OG Hondo with Balin, throw in OG Hondo here. I'm personally going to be throwing in Nest because that's a good flex pick for Maz Kanata that's not stealing SM33 from Hondo and OG Hondo from Balin. It's a weird season for Maz Kanata because those two characters are going to other really good teams. But regardless, Emphas Nest is going to be a strong fifth. Very annoying character, good counterattacks, has expose, and can ignore taunt. So very good stuff. Now, I'm including these two because I don't want to take it off the list because it's very situational. But the first one's going to be the one I'm working with because if I want to keep Cal with Rey, the substitute for me is going to be Inquisitor Barriss because she has a nice AoE cleanse and heal move for your unaligned force user allies. Crew is there for the pre-taunting tank, and Maul is there for the crazy anguish to synergize with Malicos. Attacking out of turn, big boy damage. I'm a big fan of it. Obviously, the team does really well with Cal, and you're going to see this on the bottom. This team right here is your traditional, or my traditional, Pirate King Hondo counter that does not have Vane. The problem is you're not going to see Pirate King Hondo on defense without Vane. But if you do, for whatever reason, this team will work against it. Very annoying to deal with on defense if you have Crew in there because of the pre-taunting tank synergy. Because Sith Empire is normally the go-to against the UFUs, but with Crew in there, it makes it a little bit more annoying. And maybe even Inquisitor Barriss can make it a little annoying as well. So, very good combination. Now, in the flex, great mothers. Love them. Practically got me into the top 25 of Kyber 1 in this game, specifically because of how good they are at taking out top of the meta teams. I'm talking S tier teams. They are practically S tier. They're really strong. We still have an Imperial Remnant level 6. We have a Wampacron that can go really well with Great Mothers. High damage, high defense. You're going to see them this season no matter what. Offensive and defense. Boom. Very, very good. Now, probably my second favorite Conquest team ever. Queen Amidala with, this time, Echo and General Skywalker. The reason General Skywalker is in here is because just in case your Padawan Obi-Wan gets out of commission, right? You have your General Skywalker in there to help with the damage. And if you're going to shake up your 501st team to create that Cody Rex team with kicks, then you can also go with this. Throw in gas with your Queen Amidala team. It'll only make other counters easier, like against Rey. Being able to get the armor shred, the AoE daze, that big damage. Very, very nice. And Echo is really good at removing buffs in the enemy team, applying heal immunity, and the buff removal. Buff removal, daze, heal immunity. All very, very good for Queen. And on defense, it requires a top-of-the-line team. Next up, Traya. Traya is going to be good. We do have a Nihilist-focused Datacron. I don't think his leadership is going to be as good in 5v5 as it was in 3v3. I kind of had a feeling the Kron was going to be really good on paper, but not good performance-wise. It's not elevating the team to certain heights that I thought it would be. Maybe in 5v5 we see. I don't think Nihilist lead is going to be the way to go, to be honest with you. But I would still put the focus Datacron with Traya. It's not going to stop Pirates, but it could stop other teams. Very, very good. Next up, Gungans. Gungans are obviously very, very good. We have Armor Pen. We have the buffs on the special. We have Light Side Turn Meter still. They can take out a number of different teams. And on defense, your opponent has to think, because they definitely cannot underestimate Gungans for the point where you're going to try to underman it or do a bottom tier team to try to get one over on your opponent. It's going to bite you, because Gungans are still very strong today. Even without a Datacron set exclusive to them, really, really dangerous. Always include General Skywalker, because General Skywalker is a very top-of-the-line team, not nearly at the stage of what he was in the past, that he could take out definitely teams that get you out of a pinch. And on defense, it kind of requires you to think a little bit, because your opponent, when you see gas, is like, oh, General Skywalker's on defense, let me try Sith Eternal solo. And if you don't bring in a correct Datacron, or you underestimate their Datacron, gas can take out Sith Eternal solo. So I always have to include gas, even though I'm showcasing the Commander Cody Cron. Different options are always very helpful. And the last team I moved in the last second to the flex category is Master Mace Windu, because I don't know what to do with him, to be honest with you. On defense, he's going to get walked over by Sith. It's going to be, okay, I see Master Mace, Traya, boom, or Malgus, boom. He just cannot deal with the Sith, even though he practically 1v1 Palpatine in the movies and should have beaten him. He cannot counter any of the Sith, so on offense, having the Captive is very good with Temple Guard. Jocasta Nu is a pretty good Conquest unit, not top of the line by any means, but pretty decent. And regardless, Master Base could probably help you take out Resistance teams or any annoying stuff like that. And I don't even think I included Resistance on this list, because their viability is going down and down and down. And until the Kyber 1 map gets bigger, a lot of these really good, awesome, fun teams cannot make the list, because there's simply not enough room on this map. And there's practically not enough room for all these teams that I mentioned anyway. But like I said, a long season, got to figure out the meta, lots of different options. So that is going to conclude this best 5v5 teams video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So if you guys did, don't forget to share it with your guilds, leaving a like, commenting down below, and the most important, subscribing to the channel to help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it, guys. Knights of X, you guys have been awesome. I'll catch you guys in the next one. May the Force be with you all. Peace.